My doctor said what is a program for health information. Be careful that if you want treatment and diagnosis of disease, you need to go to your local healthcare provider. Hey, this is Dr. Frank with My Doctor Says What? My podcast on all major platforms. Today, I'd like to welcome you to this beautiful 9-degree central Kentucky winter day. But a couple things that'll warm your heart from the health front. And I'd like to talk first. If you saw my Dr. Frank in shorts on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, sucralose or Splenda's brand name. Or we found now, the World Health Organization has found that it's genotoxic. It causes mutations to your genetic DNA material. That usually is a precursor for us toxicologists and pathologists of being cancerous or at least mutagenic, causing mutations. So stop using that stuff. Same way with aspartame. We know it causes kidney problems, issues with memory, and potential for long-term cognitive or mental effects. All those artificial sweeteners, they fool your body into thinking they're sweet through your taste, but they don't work through the feedback. So you see people with a candy bar and a diet soft drink, and they tend to be heavy. And that's because the craving, you get the taste, but you don't get rid of the craving. Good old sugar in moderation, unless you're diabetic, then you really have to watch it. Talk to your healthcare provider. Is much safer. So stop using that stuff. Reduce your sugar and salt, and then you'll find out that you'll be a lot healthier and you won't have these problems and side effects. Don't keep drinking that diet soft drink or anything that you're mixing that artificial sweeteners with. Everyone we've studied over the last 50 years almost has been a real issue. Eventually we find it has some really bad health effects. These are just chemicals with side effects you don't need to be putting in your body. Sugar's not bad for you if it's in moderation and you don't spike it on an empty stomach. So just remember that. With that, blood pressure, some great news. We know that aerobic, cardio exercise is good for you and it helps control blood pressure. Weight control helps a lot. Reducing tension and stress helps control your blood pressure. And it's really important to control your blood pressure because that's one thing that will lead to cardiac events eventually, or such as stroke or heart attack. And so you've really got to watch that. Everybody's blood pressure increases as you grow older, as a part of your arteries becoming more brittle with age. So the last thing you want to do is gunk them up with fat and a bad diet. And the other thing you want to do is not have a lot of stress, where cortisol and adrenaline are constantly bombarding you, would cause the plaque to become more sticky. Same thing I've said with the floss in your teeth. Get rid of the plaque in your teeth. It really helps the plaque in your arteries. But there's a bunch of things you need to do to control that. But the cool news is resistance exercise, such as weightlifting, good for the bones, also good for your blood pressure. It squeezes the vascular system and then releases, squeezes, releases, and that's shown to be good. But now we find isometric exercises really great for blood pressure. What's isometric exercise? That's where you hold in a position like little kids go before they eat and get excited, and then you release it. You tense and release. Tense, it's kind of like flexing and then let it go. And Pilates and yoga are great examples of isometric type exercise where you hold a position. If you do the downward dog and you end up having lower blood pressure. See that? But that's really cool. So you that were doing bar or yoga or Pilates, that's great for your blood pressure control. It also reduces stress, but that flexing and tensing and relaxing of the circulatory system, the arteries and the veins, really has benefits of not allowing plaque to stick, and allows that release to a number of chemical reactions that keep your blood pressure lower and more consistent. Alzheimer some new findings. We know it. When now there's 5 subgroups, and you can read more about that. They're identifying as more prone to having the protein build up in your brain. But one of the things that we found is it seems like those that are under constant stress, and for those that are at work today, listening to my podcast or on your way home or your way there, you got to reduce stress. You got to learn to meditate, to breathe deeply, to pray, whatever you do that relaxes you. Listen to music, look at the sunset, but you got to do it on a regular daily basis. And when you feel yourself getting stressed, you've got to take a step back and relax. And you say, I can't do that, my work's too tense. Well, if you're an astronaut or a brain surgeon, I agree, there may be times when you really have focus, but other times you've just got to step back. And it's only for a few seconds and release that stress and tension. And overall, you need to do that. And for you, and I mean, I think this is funny for a guy that's doing a YouTube podcast, it's on all platforms, but you that are overindulging in social media, that are constantly having to look at it, get away from some of it. Just look at it, look at the things you like, and get away from it. A lot of people show that causes a lot of stress, especially if you get all tied up in this he said, she said, I've got to respond to this. No, you don't. That's all smoke and mirrors. What a million people think of you on the other side of the world or whatever, who cares? Just relax. Be happy, relax. Don't worry, be happy. So, and then I'd like to say in finale, this is a weird one, nail fungus. And I'm not talking about like athlete's feet and that. We can treat that with over-the-counter products. But nail fungus, and you'll notice that more in your toenails than fingernails, and especially as you get older. But a lot of people that spend a lot of time in water. Remember, the more water you have on your nails, fingernails, ladies, that's a part of your skin, a skin type. So that gets dried out, especially in the winter. And so keep lotion or something on your nails. That's important. But on your toenails, if they're constantly moist, like sweaty socks or whatever, and you're not keeping your feet clean, a lot of times you get athlete's feet. But worse than that, you get the nail fungus, which is the little white patches or purple patches on your nails, and then they get a yellow color and get rough. And that is really hard to cure. The medicines that you have to take, the antifungals, have a lot of side effects. They're expensive, and you have to see your healthcare provider. The topical for the 0.11% topicals that you put on like jock itch or athlete's feet, they don't work very well. I mean, you can apply them for a year and not see a difference. New evidence suggests that hydrogen peroxide, we know that kills fungus, but not the kind you use for your mouthwash, the 3%. But like food grade, 12 to 35%. And see your healthcare provider before you apply any of that. Talk to them, see what their opinion is. But research is showing that applied over a few weeks will kill it in the nail bed as well as in the nail itself. And then you apply certain antifungals for like athlete's feet, and you'll find that you can clear up nail fungus. Evidence is showing that that's highly probable. Not expensive, easy to do, but talk to your healthcare provider, see what they say. That's fairly new on the cutting edge. It's just in the research phase, but see what they say. Shouldn't have much side effects because it's topical and it's hydrogen peroxide. It's just an oxidant. So, but you have to use it carefully. You get skin burns and that. So again, talk to your healthcare provider. Have a great day. See Dr. Frank. Our doctor says what? On all major platforms, and look at Dr. Frank in Shorts on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Have a great day. Remember, send your comments and questions to Dr. Frank at mdswpod@gmail.com.